Pfizer says they expect to be administering their vaccine to young children as early as this fall. The pharmaceutical company is moving ahead with low-dose trials for children under 12 years old after wrapping early testing of the vaccine. Johnson & Johnson and Moderna are also testing their vaccines on children. Now, according to the CDC, over 142,000 children under the age of 12 have received at least one COVID vaccine dose. NBC News Now correspondent Maura Barrett joins us now from the Ochsner Medical Center in Jefferson, Louisiana, one of 98 facilities where Pfizer is running vaccine trials for children under the age of 12. Maura, good morning. Now, of course, the big question here is who are these kids that are participating? And I know you spoke with one family about how they came to the decision to vaccinate their 5-year-old son, have him in this trial. What can you tell us about that conversation and also how it highlights the debates about inoculating children just in general?
Well, Savannah, there's a lot of speculation and anxiety from parents about having their young children get the vaccines. Obviously, we've seen that young kids react differently to the virus itself, and so there's confusion about how they'll react to the vaccines. Now, I spoke with the Halperin Chaudhry family. Their 5-year-old son, Khalil, is one of the kids here participating in the trial, and they said that there was some safety concerns initially in terms of what would be reported if there was any issues with the vaccines. But once they found out that he was going to be able to be a part of this trial, they said they were all in because they know that getting the children across the country inoculated is really the way that we're going to handle this virus now that a lot of adults have been vaccinated. I want you to hear from some of their thought process as they chose to pull Khalil into the trial.
I really see this on par with what we've done to care for our kids. This is part of the health care that we've provided. We followed the immunization schedule, and I really feel like the COVID vaccine is just on par with that.
Yeah, and we see already how safe and effective the vaccine is for adults. I really trust that it's going to be as beneficial for kids. And again, the importance to me is that we are one community. Like, the COVID affects all of us, and it's affected all of us this entire year.
You might have seen Khalil there playing with his family. Also, 12-year-old Chaya, or almost 12-year-old Chaya, she's counting down the days until her 12th birthday so she can get the vaccine as well. Both kids really excited. Khalil was a little camera shy, but he told me he's excited that he's going to help other people not get sick by getting the vaccine. The parents saying that this is a learning lesson for their kids to help their community.
Oh, that's sweet. He was camera shy because he was busy with his cat. It's understandable, you know. All right, Maura, how do doctors feel about where they are at in these trials so far? What do they think about what they're learning?
So far, so good. And so the issue here is in last week's FDA Vaccine Advisory Committee meeting, some doctors were expressing concern that because children usually aren't symptomatic during the virus, that they might not know the exact efficacy during this trial. And so that's why they're taking a closer look with the section of 5 to 12-year-olds. And then Ochsner will start recruiting for the younger children as well for further trials. Right now, in this specific trial, 75% of the kids will be getting the actual vaccine versus the placebo. And then after 6 months, once they find out whether or not they got the vaccine, they'll have the opportunity to get that. But doctors emphasizing that taking the time and really focusing in on these different age groups will help just determine how safe it'll be. And a reminder, obviously, those vaccine trials coming back for kids a little older than 12-year-old were 100% efficacy. Savannah.
And Maura, now one of the big concerns here is the fact that there's been this rising number of cases of this heart inflammation condition that seems to be linked to the COVID vaccine in younger people. I know you've been talking to doctors about that. What more can you tell us?
Right, and this was something, the heart inflammation issue, something that the father I spoke to, Josh, also said he was partially concerned about. But looking at the bigger picture, even though we're seeing higher than normal numbers of these heart inflammation cases, whether or not it's totally tied back to getting the vaccine and COVID in general is still unknown. But overall, doctors and parents alike are weighing the benefits and the options and saying, you know, the symptoms of myocarditis are not great, but the symptoms of COVID could be much worse. And myocarditis, this heart inflammation, is a lot more rare. And so they're weighing the balance there and deciding, at least in Josh's and in his family's case, that getting the vaccine is worth it.
All right, Maura Barrett, thank you so much.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.